Yaakov?
Well, at least we got parrots.
Yeah, I'm going to try to participate a little bit, but I'm in the middle of trying to get an air conditioner out. So at least we're recording.
Okay, fine. If you wouldn't keep on stopping in the middle to finish those bottles of mashka, you'd have been finished already.
I think you got it the wrong way around. If you wouldn't keep stopping in the middle to finish the bottles of mashka, you wouldn't even have started yet.
Gershon, don't try to be funny from Cleveland, okay?
I wasn't trying to be funny. That's Paris.
Okay.
What now?
Fine.
Hello?
Yes, we're here.
Okay, I'm calling. I see only 8 people. We're going to have to change this Erev Shabbos thing. There's only 8 guys on now.
9.
4, 7, 7, 3, 3, 8, 8, 9, 1. I'm just logging in with I'm just doing this as a backup in case the video goes out. I'll have this. I want to tell you something. You can hear me, fellows?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today, a guy texts me and he says if he holds like Rebbe Akiva Eger that you could shave for Shabbos. Is he allowed to shave for Shabbos in the 9 days? Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I said to him, why don't you go ask whoever told you could be Simach on this? Right?
Good point.
So then he tells me, hold on, You got anybody getting feedback? You can hear me now.
There was a lot, but now it's gone.
Okay. Anyway, so the kid he shows me a picture of the footnote or of Simcha Bunim Cohn's sefer on 3 weeks. That he says that he brings the Bir Halacha, brings Rebbe Akiva Eger that you can shave. I said, yeah, but on the top he paskins that you can't shave. Right? So that's what happens when a guy who's not educated enough, you tell him Episa Kula, you mention Episa Kula, and then they take it and run with it.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. That's what I thought.
I thought Professor Schachter or Talvechik said you could shave for Friday for Shabbos. He said, okay.
Yeah, listen, there are those that make it. That's very fine, but Rav Simcha Bunim is not.
Okay, I got it.
All I'm saying, I'm not saying there's any. Of course, there's legitimate cheaters that hold you could say. I'm not fighting them on that. I'm just saying that Simcha Bunim Cohen was not one of them. He just mentions it in the footnote.
Got it.
Okay, so let's go. Yeah. Yeah. So, what time are we stopping? 35 or 30?
30.
30?
Yaakov, is there any minion tomorrow by your house?
I don't got it.
We're gonna see by Mincha. We're gonna see by Mincha.
Yeah?
We're doing Mincha today at 6:45. We called it right after the shir.
I'm not gonna have to make that.
Parrots is supposed to what's it called?
Please finish
Call white.
the pan, okay?
Naftali, maybe turn off your camera when you take care of that over there, you know?
No, it's just no, I'm not sitting on my tail. I'll be there in a minute. So I might whatever.
Okay. Talk to Mishna, yeah? Okay, for those that are coffee drinkers, this is the Mishna for you, yeah? Nice in mind, right? So we left off on a Mishna, right? Kuf Lamed Tez Beis?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just let me know somehow if the connection gets bad, please. So nice mayim al gabi shmarim b'shvil sheyitzaylu. You're allowed to put water, right, on top of shmarim. Shmarim is like the junk from the wine. B'shvil sheyitzaylu, so that it should get literally that you get. But basically, what you want is you want to flavor your water with wine, right? But really, what you're doing is you're doing this in order to clear up the junk. To clear up the junk that's inside the wine, like the wine sediment. So you want to clear it up, so you pour water through it. Yeah? So you're allowed to do that on Shabbos. Even though we said in the previous Amud, the previous Mishna says that you're not allowed to filter, right? So if you're not allowed to filter, so why are you allowed to do this? What's in here and there? So here it's talking about where the dregs are already inside the filter before Shabbos. The other thing is that you're taking the whole wine and you're trying to filter the entire wine through a filter. Here, that's not what you're doing. Here you have the sediment of the wine that's sitting in the filter. You pour water through it, right? A total different case, right? Yeah, Zaylam, hear me?
Yes, yes.
Siako, in this case,
hear you.
but you're saying that it has to be there from before Shabbos.
It has to be there from before Shabbos. Correct. That's what the
So-
difference is between this
so-
case and the other case.
When you say the wine, the coffee drinkers are going to like this Mishnah, but do they have to go ahead and do the same thing with their filters? Their strainers?
No, it doesn't. No. What I meant by not being there before Shabbos, meaning that here the sediment was what you're doing. I said it wrong. Here the difference is that you're by the first case of the previous Mishnah a lot ago is talking about where you're taking the wine with all the junk in it and you're putting it through the filter. Here, that's not what you're doing. Here, the wine and the junk is already in the filter. It doesn't have to be there before Shabbos. It can be there on Shabbos too. But the point is then you're pouring the water through that filter, right? You're not actually filtering out anything, right? So basically, to use the equivalent is, let's say you made yourself a Turkish coffee and it had all the junk in it, and then you poured it through a filter on Shabbos. That would not be allowed because that's butter. But if you put the coffee into the filter first and then you pour the water through it, and all you want the water to do is get the flavor from the coffee, then that's okay.
So
Right?
like
That's what we learned
a
from
French
the-
press would be a little more complicated. That might not be allowed as much.
French press would be a little bit more complicated. Correct. Well, that's not really but that's a different.
Because
that's a different
the
sugya. But that's the
dregs,
basic. This is the mission that we learned. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so then umasanan is hayayin besudarin, and you can also filter wine through clothing with ubakfifa mitzvahs, and that's a type of a basket. We had this 2 blot ago, and you could put an egg in a filter, a mustard filter. We'll see in the Gemara why you want to do that. It's really to dye it. And anumlin b'Shabbos, this is a different subject. You're allowed to make anumlin b'Shabbos, which is some sort of medicinal thing. We go back to the medicine sugi. Rabbi Yehuda b'Shabbos b'kais. On Shabbos you're allowed to do it in a kais, but not more than that. But Yom Tif b'lagin, and Yom Tif you could do a little bit more because it's in a lug, right? Uvemayid b'chavis, and on Cholamayid you're allowed to even do it in a barrel. Tzaddik says no, you can do it according to how many guests you have, right? But either way, according to nobody, do you have a blanket heter to just make this anumlin? So Amar Ze'ir, Zok the Gemara, Amar Ze'iri. You're allowed to put yayin salul is clear wine into a strainer b'Shabbos ve'ein choshesh, and there's no chashash. Yeah, avo. Right. What would be the chashash? Right. What would be the chashash here? Right, because it's not. It was strained before and strained after. Right. There's another important thing, that can you filter water on Shabbos? Yeah. So the poskim say you can filter water on Shabbos if you.
I think we lost you now.
So Yaakov, your connection went out. He has a beautiful sky background, at least.
Pull up. But there,
Now you're back.
sorry, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know
Well,
what
we
just
see you and
went
hear
out.
you.
Sorry.
Close it.
And you can put it into a mishmeres and Shabbos. There's no chashash. Turgum is so what you see a kasha. It should be bar. Should know that's where you're between the gitas. When you buy the wine presses, right? This is a classic example. When you buy the wine presses, you don't care where it is. You don't care what type of wine. You're used to drinking not fine wine, so you're not really doing it. You're not really doing anything. You drink it either way, right? So it's all totally whether you're over on buyer, whether you would eat this before you filter it or not. Fine. As long as you don't make a hole, doesn't really mean a hole. You just don't want to make it so that like a funnel, because if you make like a funnel on Shabbos, and that's like making a kli. Klifa mitzvah.
So Yaakov, why is that an isser of butter before? Ziri's teretz is only a teretz mitzad the fact that it's not you're not being masakin it, but why isn't it straight up butter?
No, because you don't care. You would drink it either way. So you're not doing anything. Since
But
you
aren't you're saying it's not pselis mitaychayel or eichel mitaychayel?
No, it is.
Because
You don't care. So it's not. Yeah, it's not pselis. It's not. You're used to it not being like that. You're not being well. You don't care. The mamish don't care. Yeah, kriva mitzris. So a basket. A different issue. You want to make sure that the basket stays more than a tefach above. Why? Because we know that in order to the height for an oil is a tefach. Yes, Amar of high prunka, a palge. If you take a prunka, a palge de kuva shari. If you take a shmata and you put it on half the barrel, then it's mutter. But akula kuva asa. But you put it on the entire barrel, then it's asa, right? Because you're doing it part, then it's not an oil. If you cover over the whole barrel, then you just made a tent. Amar papa. A person should not put in the mouth of the barrel. You should put all sorts of wood and straw and grains and all that. Because then it looks like you're putting on a strainer. In Rapapa, they would take beer and they would pour it very slowly from one cup to another cup, right? So therefore they wouldn't. This is interesting. I think this is more negay to us with soup. Right? When you want it, let's say you don't have a strainer for the soup. You want to pour out the soup. You don't want all the junk to come out of the soup. So if you pour it very slowly, you're sort of using the lip of the pot to make sure that it holds back the stuff that you don't want, like the bones and the vegetables and all that. So that's what they did with the beer, so they wouldn't get the junk from the beer. Some of the but the bottom line is there's going to be, what do you call it?
Droplets.
What do you say?
Droplets.
Drippings.
Droplets, yeah. There's going to be nitzites that are going to come out of there that are going to be good. So nitzites Rav Papa loy chashivi. In Rav Papa's house, they didn't care about droplets because they were very wealthy, right? Or the pshat is that Rashi says that they were chenvenim, so they were used to dealing with it, so they didn't care so much about drops. But nice and so right, so they put an egg through a filter. Why are you allowed to do that? Tana Yaakov Karcha, Yaakov Karcha taught the fishain oisen oisa ela lagavan, because the only reason you're doing it is to make it lagavan, means we had gavonim is to give it color. You're not doing it to filter, you're doing it to give it color. Itmar, so we learned Chadar Shalashim Erev Shabbos. So you have mustard that you already kneaded, KNEA. Now this is a whole different sugya here, right? That's talking about kneading, like when you take something liquid and mix it together with a solid. So that's kneading, right? Normally you knead dough, but you can be over on kneading with anything. So you're taking mustard and you're kneading it. So you knead it before Shabbos, right?
So Yaakov, why is all these buyer cases a problem? We say that once you don't have that in mind, we consider it that it's not considered buyer, but it's still davar shein miskavin. Meaning you still are causing the buyer. So the definition of buyer is you have to have certain kavanas.
Yeah, no, buyer is subjective. That's basically what we're learning out from all this. Buyer is subjective. What could be buyer for you won't be buyer for me. Right? That's basically what comes down. So anyway, so basically here, this is why a lot of times they'll put there's a lot of practical in this. It's always on a Friday and a Muktza Shabbos. But that's why a lot of times when people want to make tuna fish on Shabbos, so the women will take mayonnaise and put it into the tuna first before Shabbos, and then they'll finish it up. Right? So that's what this is talking about here. So you needed it from Erev Shabbos l'machar. The next day, you could do it with a kli and not a yad. Now, the point is that you want to do it a little bit differently than you normally do on a Shabbos. So you do it with a kli and you don't do it with a yad.
That you normally do during the week.
The way you normally do it during the week. You got to do it differently. Right. So he said to do it with a kli and not with a hand. You're saying do it with a hand? Do you do this every day with the hand? Right? Michael Chamarimu. That's a Michael v'chamar to do that. Right? To do it with the hand. You're not going to do your own food with the hand. You can use a kli. Elam Rashmuel. Right? On Shabbos, you got to do it with your hand because you got to do it with a shinui, but not during the week. During the week, I'm saying you got to, on Shabbos, you do it with a hand because during the week, you do it with a kli. It's an interesting Machlokes. I mean, which way do you do it? Right? Do you do it with a kli? You do it with a hand. Okay. Itmar. Both are aser. But Rabbi Yochanan disagreed and said they're both mutter. Right? Now, what does that mean? Abaye and Rabbi said that Allah is not Rabbi Yochanan. Come Rabbi Yochanan b'shita say the Rabbi Eliezer. Because Rabbi Yochanan is going like Rabbi Eliezer. Come Rabbi Eliezer b'shita say the Shmuel. And Rabbi Eliezer is going the sheet of Shmuel. Abaye and Rabbi Amrit Abaye Allah Rabbi Yochanan. The halacha is like Rabbi Yochanan. So we have this big machlokes here of exactly which way to pass it, right? Now we'll see we have to see weiter what exactly is going on here. So Imeda Abaya, right? Abaya's mother, which we already said is not his mother, his real mother. Avdilei v'loy achol. She made it for Abaya and he didn't eat it. The visu de zeiri avdilei l'Rav Chia barashi v'loy achol, right? She made it. She made the Zeiri's wife did it for Rav Chia barashi and he didn't eat it. Amalei. The Rabbi Chavdilei v'achovat lo yachal. Right, we had this before. She did it.
Abaya's mother didn't prepare it according to his shita.
Isn't that interesting? Maybe she didn't know his shita. He came back from yeshiva ben Nazmanim. She didn't know what he learned ben Nazmanim. I guess she figured it out. I don't know.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. It's not really Abaya's mother. This was Abaya's whatever. His mother wasn't alive.
No, but she raised him. She should know what his halacha was.
Right.
I don't know if it's the
now,
same
what about
level.
all the Gedalim stories where somebody prepared them food and they didn't, and they ate it anyways? So how do you understand that? Those stories? I don't know. Whatever it is.
It's about your wife.
Oh, that was the wife, he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay, fair point. A fair point. So, weiter. So she told him, and you're not going to eat it. What he did is, he said, I stirred it with a piece of garlic, a stalk of garlic, and he ate it. So Amar Mar Zutra, the halach is not like any of this. Ella, kihad de itmar, chardo shalashu, Shabbos lamacham machu, bein b'yad, bein b'kli, and you could put in honey to it, but you can't mix it hard. You can't ella ma'ariv. You can only mix it, not heavy. Yeah, fine. Shachlayim sheshogim erev Shabbos. If you have shachlayim, we call cress, right? You guys knew some of you knew what cress was. I have no idea what that is, right? Right, some sort of growth, right? What is it?
Grass.
It's like a lettuce.
It's like a lettuce. Okay, so
It's
they
like
sell
lettuce.
that in stores. They sell that in stores.
Yeah, I think they call it watercress.
Oh, that's what watercress is. Oh, that's what it is. I hear. Okay, so shechlayim sheshogim erev Shabbos. If you ground it up erev Shabbos, l'machar noisan l'seicha shemen. The next day you could put oil in it, v'chaimitz and vinegar, umamshel l'seicha amisa, and then you could put amisa into it. V'lo yitrefin again, but you can't beat it the way you'd regularly beat it. Regularly do it. Ella ma'arav. You can mix it lightly. Same thing. That's why we tell people when you want to make oatmeal for kids, right? So you got to do 2 shinuyim. You got to if you normally put the oatmeal into the water, so you put the water into the oatmeal, And then the way you mix it, you don't mix it the same. Let's say you do it in a circle motion, so you do it in a up and down motion or wherever it is. Fine. Shum shariskum e'er Shabbos. You have garlic was ground up before Shabbos. L'machar nice and l'sayche. Pull the grease, and the next day you could put in beans, different types of beans. But you shouldn't grind it up so strong, but just mix it in. And then you could put this amisa into it. My amisa. What is amisa? Ninya, that's mint. Amar Abaya. Yeah. Shmamino, hi ninya mali l'sachli. So you can learn from this that ninya helps for sachli is shachli, the same thing. For this cress, I guess it mint makes it better. Okay.
What exactly is
Now we
Abai
move
teaching
back.
us in that?
What's
Why
he
does
teaching
anyone-
us? I have no
Yeah,
idea.
what is Abai teaching us in that point?
I don't know. I don't know. What is there to learn out from that? I don't know. Rashi doesn't say.
Here
But
it says
clearly he
here.
was involved
He
in
brings
the
from
cooking.
here. Abai apparently gleaned this from the fact that all of the above mixtures were allowed only because they improve the food.
Who says that?
He's bringing from the Or HaChama.
Is that the art scroll?
Yeah.
Interesting. You're only allowed to do this if the food improves. I don't think we paskin like that. But anyways, okay. Fine, thank you. You're allowed to make anumlin. Aluntis. Okay, so you're allowed to do one and not the other. Aluntis. What's aluntin and alunis? Anumlin, yain, dvash, or pilpulin. Anumlin is honey, wine, and spices. Aluntis, yain, yoshan, umayim, tzlulin, vafarsimin. That's old wine and clear water, and the farsimin is, what do you call it? Balsam is what they call it. You make it for after going into the bathhouse to cool yourself off, right? You're very hot, right? I guess it's the equivalent of a beer, right? Some of Yosef Zimna Chada Alis Basa Mar Ukva Bani. I one time went after Mar Ukva to the bathhouse. Kinafki, when he went out, Asay Ashkian Chamra, they gave him Chamra Chad Kesed. They gave him he brought me, right? Ashkian, he gave it to me, 1 cup of wine, right? The chashim mibeyanesa the rashi v'atuva the kari, and I ate and made me feel good from the top of my head all the way down to the toes of to the nails on my feet. And he said, if I would take another cup, then I would end up losing some of my olam haba, right? Now, what does that mean? So Rashi says, because he would die. If he has another one of these things, he would end up dying, right? So, Memela, he's going to use up his schusim. He's going to use up his schusim that he's going to have to come onto some of his schusim and not die, right? So that's what he's saying. Others are saying it's so gishmak that he might lose out from his olam haba, because the more gishmak you have in this world, the less reward you get in the next world. That's a heavy duty musaf, but Rashi's clearly not going like that.
Yaakov,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything
Yeah.
because it's like exactly from Miami, who's a big Met fan also. When I told him I was working for City Field, he said this Gemara to me about getting the Hana talking to the player. Yeah, he said it on.
Yeah, that's very good. I guess that's a good reason you don't work there anymore, huh?
Yeah,
that's very good.
I would have said the opposite.
Well, no, it's still gishmak. Yeah, it's still gishmak. Yeah, this tsar, I guess they gave you tsar, so that was good. Meaning the Mets. Mar Ukva the shasi kol yoima. Mar Ukva drank it every day. Shani Mar Ukva the dashba. Oh, this is also very important. Yeah, I don't know if that the parallels is on, but the dashba Mar Ukva drank it so much, so therefore it didn't really affect him. So that shows you, if you have a lot of credit, it can negatively affect as others are. I guess I don't know where that goes with cigarettes and all that type of stuff, but clearly people that have all this junk don't get nearly affected by it as much as others. Okay, Zok the Mishna.
No tolerance. It's called tolerance.
Did we lose Tviyakov again?
Sure looks like it.
To it appear.
Parrots, what time Mutzi Shabbos?
Ask me, I would do 10:30.
Let's not ask parrots.
What time is 72? Hold on. '72 is 9:29.
Perfect. That's why 10 o'clock is a good time.
You want to do 10 or you want to do a little earlier?
So let's do 9:30.
We wanted to do earlier last week.
Yeah, 9:30.
5.
Then I missed.
No, so let's do
just for that,
9:45.
Jesse, we'll do 10:15, Jesse. How's that?
I'm out.
I'm in.
I'm not staying up later.
10 o'clock.
Yaakov, you're muted. You're muted. It automatically mutes people.
Oh, Shabbos is not over here till 40. We're over a little bit later.
All right, so 10 o'clock.
I don't care. 10 is fine by me.
We're
10
losing
is
you,
fine
my
by
man.
me.
You're going in and out. Tell Ziskin to stop barbecuing.
Hello?
We
Got
were
you now.
discussing tolerance and
Where now?
Yeah.
we were discussing tolerance and being married and getting used to things and so on.
Okay. Ready? We'll go back to the Mishna. And now you
We
got
got an
back.
echo, terrible echo.
I have two devices on because I don't know which one works.
Well, E5 is
Now
not
you
working.
sound like the Yankee Stadium.
So mute one. See if that works.
Could you yell the Yankees win?
Yeah, let's
Ha
get the
ha
fake.
ha ha ha.
Yaakov, I'm going to set up fake people to make believe they're part of the Daf. You're muted, Sviakov. You're muted.
I'll keep talking and I'm trying to get rolling and I keep being muted. All right. Sorry. I really apologize. Okay, so this Mishna has a lot to do with, are you allowed to wash vegetables? Are you allowed to wash vegetables from dirt? Right? So you're not allowed to soak vegetables. That's the way we pass on halacha l'maaseh. You're not allowed to soak vegetables from the dirt, but you're allowed to wash. That comes from this Mishna because it says, Ein shoyrin es hachiltis b'paishrin. You're not allowed to soak chiltis, right, in warm water, right? Yeah, and aval noisin l'sei chachamim, we can put it into vinegar. So you're not allowed to soak it, right? Vein shoylin es a karshinim v'lo shavnosin, and you can't make the karshinim that's also like animal food float. V'lo shavnosin, you can't rub them, right? So what's the reason? What's the reason? Because that's boirer. But you are allowed to put it into sifters or into a basket. Ain't coverness a teven. You're not allowed to sift straw, right? Bikvara with a sifter. You're not allowed to put it up on a high place so that the junk falls down. But you are allowed to put that into a kvara, into a sifter. And you are allowed to put it into the avos is where the animals, the feeding thing. What do you call that thing? The trough. Yeah? Say boil. So they asked the Shiloh, Sharamai, let's say you did soak the vegetables. What is the din? So Tirgam Ravada, Nashok, Amid Rav Yosef, Shara Chayv Chatas. If you show your Chayv Chatas, Amalei Abaya, Alamiata, Shara Umtza B'maya, are you going to say that if you soak a piece of meat in water, Hochanami de B'chayiv, you're also going to be Chayiv? How could that be? Here we go again, right? We had this a few blot ago that it's a derabanan because it looks like you're doing it the way you normally do it in the week. So you need to do it with a shinui. Rav Yochanan Rav Yanai. Right, Rav Yochanan asked from Rav Yanai. That's important to who the players are here. Can you soak the chiltis in cold water? Amalei also, he said also. We said you're only not allowed to do it in warm water. In mutter, mashma in cold water, it's mutter. Then what's the difference between me and you? Right? Meaning, what's the difference in our pshatim?
Rashi here says that Rav Yanai, right? If I can't explain the Mishnah better than you, so then what's the difference? Meaning Rav Yanai was more chashuv, at least he understood, whatever, he's better in learning than Rav Yochanan of all people, right? So Gemara, Masnisa Yichidai, our Mishnah is Das Yachid. The Tanya, Ein Sharinus Achiltus, Lai Bechamer, Lai Betzana. You can't soak chiltus, not in hot water, not in cold water. If you say Bechamin Aser, it's Aser Bechamin Betzana and Butter. Yeah, but cold water, it's Madalmai Avdile. What do you make this thing from? What's this mixture from? L'yoikred, not from, for. What do you do it for? L'yoikred, the liba. Now, I don't know what this means. It means a heavy heart. Yoikred, the liba, is a heavy heart. I don't think that means, that's not an emotional thing. I think it's a physical thing.
The Meiri says the type of chest pain.
Chest pain?
That's what
Okay,
Gardschool brings down.
Yes, I originally thought that this was more of an emotional thing. He has a heavy heart. But I don't know. Rashi does not mashma either. He says, Shaliba kaved love. His heart is heavy on him. Okay. Are you saying the Meiri says that it's a physical thing? I thought maybe more emotional. Okay, either way. Rav Acha bar Yosef chash b'yoikred deliba. Rav Acha bar Yosef had this issue. Also came into Bar Ukva. He said, what?
Could it be heartburn?
Heartburn? You think it's heartburn?
That's
Maybe.
what I thought when I learned it.
Yeah. Oh, so maybe it's heartburn. Well, let's see how they paskin. So Amarle, because there are poskim that say that heartburn nowadays is not considered a chayla. You could just take it. You just take Tums and all that type of thing. There are poskim that are makel because they consider that like a regular thing to do. Amarle. So anyways, Amarle zil shasi tlasa tikli chalil chilta v'tlasa yomi. Go drink 3 measurements worth of this drink over 3 days. Also, Azal ishti chamisha b'Shabbos and Ma'ila Shabbos. He went and he drank it on Thursday and Friday, the tzafra, and then the Shabbos morning. Also, Shalbei Midrash. He went and asked the Spanish. Amalei Tana Dvei Ravada Vami Lo Tana Dvei Mar Baravada Shais Adam Kavai Krayim Ve'ena Chayshish. You can drink a kav or 2 kavim, and you don't have to be worried about it on Shabbos, right? So clearly you're allowed to have this on Shabbos. Amalu lishtois like kamibayli. I wasn't asking about drinking. Kikamibayli lishrois. What about soaking it? Right? Is that considered like a weekday thing? So Amalu Rav Kiya Bar Abba, did he have a uvda? I had the same issue. V'asa shilti l'Ravada Bar Abba v'lo yav biyadi. He didn't know what to do. Asay shilti l'Rav Huna v'amri hachi kama Rav shayra b'tzana m'niach b'chama. You can soak it in cold and you can leave it in the sun, right, to become warm. Kiman Deshari. I'm sorry, Kiman Deshari. Who is that? So stop here a second. So you know, like this whole thing that if you're taking a regimen of like antibiotics for 10 days, so some person can say you're allowed to take it, right? I think this Gemara is maybe a right that you can't, because he took it Thursday, he took it Friday. He needed to take it Shabbos as a regimen, and they didn't answer to him that it's a regimen, it's okay, right? They told him no, it's okay because it's not considered refu on Shabbos. They didn't answer him a regimen. You hear what I'm saying? I'm not sure. I didn't have time today to look into this, but the Welt thinks that it's just mutter. Anytime you're taking a regimen of things, it's mutter. Not many persons say that it's not allowed. But okay, obviously we passed on that it is. Anyway, so the Gemara says command to shari. Who are you saying? It's like the ones that are matter. Afilu man to usher. Even the one that says it's usher. Hanimi leichid de ishti klau. That's where you're not going to drink from it at all. Avo hacha kibud ishti chamsha umayli shabsa. Since you ate it on the Thursday and the Friday, ilashasa b'Shabbos mistakin. See, here's another thing. So he says you have to eat it Thursday, you have to eat it Friday. So if you're not going to have it Shabbos, you're going to be in sakana. So what does that mean? You're going to be in sakana. Why? Because because you're going to be worse of a sakana, or it's just not going to work. So here it might be mashma. Now the Gemara seems to be saying that it's because of it's a regimen, and then you are allowed to take it. So I could be it's a machlokes. The machlokes based on this Gemara. Either way, so there are
medications that if you stop them abruptly, could be very dangerous. For example, I was a genius once and I stopped my cholesterol medication for Pesach, and Shalom Yubefeld basically yelled at me and said he caused a rebound in your cholesterol, shoots very high, and that's a heart attack. Not like people think. He got a heart attack when he stopped his cholesterol medication.
I hear. That's interesting.
Example of a medication.
Okay, so that's what he's saying here, that you go back to your sakon.
Yaakov, why don't we say Rav Tanu Polig? We only say that in certain scenarios.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's go a little weiter before the Olam has to check out. So Rav Acha Bar Yosef was leaning on the shoulder of Rav Yitzchak, his nephew, Bar Achsa, the son of his sister. When we go to Rav Safra's house, bring me up there. When he got there, he brought him in. What can you rub? A total different subject now. Can you rub a white shirt on Shabbos? So Rashi says you're rubbing it really to make it more comfortable or whatever it is. So the Gemara asks, you're just doing it to soften up the shirt and it's good. Or it's maybe I lost the place. Hold on, I lost you there. Yeah, it's to make it whiter, and then it's awesome because of laundering. No, he means to soften it, and it's good. When he left, Asa Amrle, he came and told him, "My boy Marmina, what'd you ask? What'd you ask from Rasafra? Amrle, why are you allowed to try and smooth out a kisna shirt on Shabbos? Amrle Shapar Dami, he told me it's okay. Why don't you ask about a handkerchief? So he says, Sudra lo kami baili. Ravuna pashali. I had already asked for Ravuna, and he was pashut for me. He answered me about that it's usher, which we're going to see in a minute. But tifshalei levarmi Sudra. Why don't you just learn the same thing? Why should you think that a handkerchief is different than a shirt? Amalei hasam michseki iludi chivari. No, because there it looks like he's trying to make it whiter. Hachaloi michseki iludi chivari. Here, not looking to make it. Doesn't look like you're making it. When you do it with a handkerchief, that's what it looks like. I don't know why you'd want a handkerchief to be white, but a shirt, it doesn't look like that. So I'm gonna chista, hi kisna, this new kisna, mishalfa ledida mikanya shari. If you pull it off from the way they used to dry it and wash it, they used to put it on a stick, right? So if you're not allowed to take it, if you're gonna take it from the stick, it's mutter. Kanya mimena. Also, to take the stick out from it, then it's also why? Because the stick is Muktza. So I'm a ravim kli kivai hu mutter. But if it's weaver's rod, that's what it is. Then it's mutter. Why? Because that's a type of Muktza that you're allowed to move if you need it. So I'm a rav chista. Hi kishta the yarka. I don't know. Should we stop here? The Olam has to go make the early Shabbos.
Go for the island. Go. Just keep going.
Should keep going.
Keep going. Whoever has
By the way, the kerchief they're saying is a head covering. It's some type of head covering. So you're wearing it on the top of your head.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean,
so that's why you want it to be white because it's very visible.
It's more visible. I thought it was a shirt. Have a good Shabbos. So you're saying it's more visible. I hear.
It wasn't in Lakewood. You didn't want it to be black.
Very good.
Shabbos.
Very good.
All right. 6:45.
Yeah, 6:45.
Okay, we'll try and let's try and go fast. So I'm gonna
We forgot to do Taisus on the other Amud.
Yeah, huh? But and this Taisus ain't too bad either on this Amud. I'm gonna Hi Kisha the Yarka. This a bunch of vegetables. If you can use it, this is all back to Muktza. If it's right for Michael Behema, it's mutter to take it. Viloi Osir. If not, then it's Osir. Amar Rav Chia Barashi Amar Rav. Hi Talia the Bisra Sharla Tatule. If you have a meat, you have meats hung up on a string. That's mutter to take it. Why? Because you can use the meat. The kavri Osir. But to do it for fish, it's Osir because the fish is no way to eat it. So Amar Rav Katina.
So that's not the same now where you have sushi.
Yeah, sushi you don't dry out. You don't age your sushi. It's a dried salami that you have hanging.
No, but you're saying raw fish. Here it's saying raw fish is not eaten, but raw fish is eaten nowadays.
Right. It could be that sushi changes it. Could be.
But it's a matter of raw. It's a matter of it hanging and aging. Nobody ages fish.
No, but so what are you doing with it? Why is it on
the kavri just means raw. It doesn't mean it's aging.
No. Rashi says you're doing it to dry it out.
That's only by meat. Rashi says that, not by fish.
Correct. I'm saying, but nowadays people eat sushi raw. So why?
No, people do eat raw fish, right? So yeah, sushi could be is changing the changing the landscape on this. Yeah, it could be. Oh, herring is also
But
theoretically.
we went through this already with the sushi. It's really frozen.
Right, that's
Kill
true.
out the bacteria. Where's the assignment?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I don't know if Katino. I'm at Be'emtza Amita. If you now we just have a lot of memorim, which goes pretty easy. Hopefully, I can read it fast enough. I'm at Katino. I'm at Be'emtza Amita. Somebody stands in the middle of a bed, meaning you stand up on somebody's bed. Kilo. I'm at Bekresa Shalisha, which seems a little bit strong. That means you're standing in the stomach of a woman, right? Because if it's a place that a woman sleeps, so you're going to think about the woman. V'la milsi, and it's nothing, right? It's nothing. Meaning, don't worry about it. Right? This is interesting. Now it tells you cheap ways of getting your most money out of your vegetables, right? If you're going to go buy a bar rav, or somebody who's smart, a bar rav is like a talmid chacham. The Zavin Yarka, he's buying vegetables. Lisbon aricha, he should buy the longer ones, right? Why? Kisha kikisha, because one bunch is just as the same weight. I mean, they sell them at the same thickness. But the length, they're not marking on the length. Obviously, this is talking about a time when they didn't sell it by weight. So they sold it by the bundle. So if you look for longer ones, you'll get your money's worth. The same thing, if you're buying reeds, you should buy long ones, right? Tuna kituna, because every bundle's like the same bundle. And then you'll get longer, you'll get more out of the length.
Why do you need the Gemara to tell you that?
No, it's just saying that if you're smart about it, it's just teaching you, tricks of shopping.
Right, but if you okay.
Shut it off. V'amar of Chista Barbe Rav, the loy nefishale rifta, Tamahom doesn't have a lot of bread. Loy lechel yarka, don't eat vegetables. Mishum degarer, because it's going to make you have an appetite and you have nothing to eat. V'amar of Chista, Ano loy be yunusi achli yarka, loy be susi achli yarka. Parrots, I thought about you with this Gemara. I thought about you and myself. He says, I didn't eat when I was poor, I didn't eat vegetables, and when I was rich, I didn't eat vegetables. Why? But you see, Mishum degarer, I didn't eat it when I was poor because then it would make me hungry. And when I was rich, why should I put vegetables in my body if I'm going to put meat? Right? So he never ate vegetables. Yeah, that is the yeshiva guy's attitude right there.
Impossible burger.
Correct. Right? Akiva, like we said, Akiva's there.
I'm still here.
Yeah, like we said last Shabbos, who orders a salad in a restaurant, right? So that's basically
it bothers me that they even serve it at these restaurants.
Right. So Rav Chisda obviously agreed with you because when he was rich, he also said, "I'm not going to put vegetables. I'm putting meat."
The same you said is true about milk restaurants.
Yeah.
He was a meatitarian.
A meatitarian, exactly right. A Talmud doesn't have a lot of bread. He shouldn't be the one to make hamotzi. Why? Because, right, the Gemara in Bracha says that the one making hamotzi should be generous. If you don't really have so much bread and you're the one cutting it, we're afraid you're not going to give it out. Chisda said the same thing. He shouldn't be the one to cut it. My time of the loy of it buying yafa. He's not going to give it buying yafa. I'm sorry, I would not cut it. I wouldn't until I look through the whole thing, right? And then I would see that there's enough for me. If there's enough bread for me, then I made hamotzi. This is also a geschmack one. If somebody decides to eat barley bread and instead he eats wheat bread, right? Okay, so I don't know what that says for eating whole wheat bread, right? But this Gemara sure sounds like it's not pro that. Yeah. If somebody's able to drink beer and he drinks wine, also he's over on baltashkis, right? Meaning why? Because you're eating the more expensive thing. You're eating the more expensive thing. Beer is cheaper. You don't have the money.
But these are by poor people. These are by poor people.
Correct. These are by poor people.
So it's not necessarily. It's not by everybody.
No, that's true. You're right. That's true. But the bottom line is somebody has to know whether he's overspending on his eating habits above his means, and then you could be over. According to this, you could be over on batashkis. You can't afford it, and you go out to eat. You might be over on batashkis.
Anyone who's on Snap can't buy white bread?
That's what he said at home.
That's a good question. I don't know. The people on Snap are richer than the people not on Snap. So.
Yeah, that's technically.
And a chachamim. Yeah. right? V'lav milsihi, and it's nothing. Baruch Hashem, that bails us out. That allows us to go out to eat, right? Baltashus gufa adif. Baltashus of the body is better, right? We discussed it with the leftovers. Sorry, I'm on my phone. When somebody calls in, yeah. So anyways, am I back? Am I there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
V'lav milsi, baltashus gufa adif. Baltashus of the body is better. So something that's whole wheat is better, is healthier. So that we'd rather do than buy more, spend more money.
Well, the opposite, no? The opposite.
What do you mean?
It sounds like white bread is better for you than whole wheat. So,
right, I'm saying
it's not.
Yeah.
No, it says wheat bread.
Wheat bread is better than barley bread.
Right.
Therefore,
So I don't know.
you're not over. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what we would say now. I'm just using it to heintige mushel for this, right?
Yeah. So if science would say the whole wheat is better for you than white, you'd have a
Then
problem eating white bread.
Correct. Then you should spend more money on the white. Yeah?
No, for carrots.
I'm saying
more
you
money
spend
on the
more
whole.
money. I'm sorry, you spend more money on the whole wheat. Yeah.
Whole wheat, yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
This is like your Tesla, Vart.
What was that?
Everyone has to drive a Tesla, no?
Oh, it's the safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if everybody has a Tesla, but the equivalent.
You become complacent, and then you have all those cases of stories. So.
Okay, I hear that. Okay, so get a safe car, not a Tesla, not a self-drive. Okay, the Leslie Mishna, right? If he doesn't have any oil to clean his hands, nimshi b'maya decharitzi, he should use the oil that's found in holes. A Babre Rav who buys meat should buy the neck. Why? This bay tlusa mine basar. In the neck, there's 3 different types of taste, so it's a cheap way out. It's a cheap way of getting a lot of taste from meat. Somebody who's buying clothing, you should buy it from the Har Abba, right? Because there you're getting your money's worth. And clean it every 30 days. So that it'll last him for 30 days. It'll last him for 12 months. Arva, and I'll be an Orev that this is guaranteed that it's gonna last. The my kisunte, what does it mean? Kisunsi, kitana, it means a nice shirt. A Barbarav should not sit on a new what do you call it? A new mat. The Mechalia Mane, because it's going to ruin his clothing, right? Why? Because when it's brand new, so there's still wetness in it. Like I'm sitting on a wet bench now, and yes, I understand. It's mamash and yana diyam with me. What?
Is this a 9 days Gemara? He's telling you to only wash your clothing once every 30 days, and it'll last you a year.
Yeah,
we're worried about laundry every 2 days.
Right. So I was wondering that don't they say not to dry clean suits, right? Suits, if you dry clean them, they get ruined.
Too often, they get worn down.
Yeah. So I think this is the code for that.
Have a good Shabbos.
Shabbos, doctor. Good Shabbos. Okay, let's just finish to the Mishna. All right. Barbe Rav should not send his clothing to the lady of the house to clean them. It's not derech eretz. Why? Because he might see, she might see something on his, zera on his clothing or something, and it's going to make her disgusting. Amalu Rav Chisda lebanse. Rav Chisda, now we get into a very graphic Gemara. Rav Chisda said to his daughters, "They have tznius and ba'apik of Rav. You should have tznius in front of your husbands. Lo seichlu nama ba'apik of Rav. You should not eat bread in front of your husbands, right? Because that might gross him out. Don't eat more than that. Like seichel yarka b'layla, don't eat vegetables at night because it might give you bad breath. Like seichel temri b'layla, don't eat tamarim at night. But like tishtan shikra b'layla, don't drink beer at night because that can cause gas and all that, and that will gross out the husbands. But like tifnun heichad the mafnig around, and also don't go to the bathroom where your husband goes to the bathroom. V'chi kari abava inish, and when somebody's knocking at your door. Like Semen Manu, don't say who it is. Don't say the same in manu, ela monis. Use a lashon nekeva, not a lashon zocher, right? So therefore, it's going to make you talk less to them. You hold Magnisa's jewelry in one hand, and a kura is like a oven in the other hand. Marganisa, show him the Marganisa. And don't give him the isamakam, right? Until he's in pain, then show it to him. Yeah, so basically, one is talking about the breasts, and one is talking about the kura, is talking about the oven. So you give him the breast, and then that will to turn him on, and then you withhold the real thing from him until he's in pain. That's the way you'll get him. Kala teachers love this Gemara. I'm telling you right now, Kala teachers love to tell the Kalas this Gemara, which are understandable. Ain Sharlin is Sakashinin, Masisim Deloiki Atana de Tanya. This mission is not like this Tana that learned Rabbi Lozman Yaakov Aimer, Ain Mashkichin Bekfara Kol Iker, that we don't care about. You're not care. You don't have to care. Meaning you don't care. Meaning you're not allowed to use the kfara at all. Okay, so I guess we'll stop here. Sorry about all the delays and all that stuff.
Tomorrow night we're at 10 still?
I think what they said 10 to 10, right? 10 to 10,
No.
5 to 10. They said 10? Is that what they said? Hello?
You're muted or something.
Yossi, Spyro, you're muted.
Oh, so I think we said 10 o'clock. Would you right now?
Is that what you said?
I thought you said that, Tzvi Yaakov, because you have 9:45 or something, Muktza Shabbos.
Oh, so
I have 9:55 Muktza Shabbos.
Right,
I think 10 o'clock. I think we keep it at 10 for now.
Okay, fine. We'll have to figure out next week with the early Shabbos people. All right, have a good Shabbos.
Tiago, did you figure out your internet
have a
or
good
no?
Shabbos.
Elio, so good. So I got a phone. They had a prepaid phone for $100 in Walmart.
Oh, you found one, a prepaid or
Yes,
unlocked?
I was using that, and it kept going off. It went off twice, and then my phone kicked in.
So do you need something, or you're good for now?
Right now, I use that phone, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay,
Right?
if it works, it works. So you're on T-Mobile, or you just got Stama prepaid plan?
What do you say? No, I'm on. I took the T-Mobile SIM card out of my iPad and I put it into there.
Oh, good. Okay, fine. All right, let me know if it doesn't work. Let me know.
Well, you saw how it worked today. It knocked me off twice for no good reason.
All right, it wasn't great.
So I don't know if it's the phone or. Yeah, I'm so backed up with the.
If you use that phone as a hotspot? Does that help?
What?
Can you use that phone as a hotspot?
Yes, I was using it as a hotspot.
Oh, you were using it as a hotspot and it kicked your phone. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I thought you were using that for
the problem
Zoom.
was it knocked me off a couple of times.
Oh, I thought you were using that phone for Zoom.
I was because my battery on my iPad was dead. Don't ask. I'm telling you, it's one of these days. I even had to wait online to get into. I went on a Friday afternoon to Walmart in the country. You know what that kind of mysterious nefesh that is?
That's a lot of mysterious nefesh.
Yes, and then I was so submished, and there's so many questions. So it's crazy. Anyways, yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's not working still on Sunday, we'll figure something else out.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Have a good Shabbos.
Okay. Have a good Shabbos. Thanks a lot for the help.
No problem.
Yeah, bye-bye.